On insert date, tragedy struck Moscow's Sheremetyevo airport. A 𝐆𝐔𝐘𝐒 Superjet 100, a modern marvel of aviation, was reduced to a smoldering wreck on the tarmac. Dozens of souls perished, their lives extinguished in a horrifying instant. It was a scene of chaos and despair. The 𝐆𝐔𝐘𝐒 Superjet 100 was on a ferry flight. Ferry flights move aircraft for maintenance, storage, or repositioning. They usually carry only essential crew members. The plan was simple: take off from Sheremetyevo airport. Shortly after takeoff, the aircraft encountered catastrophic technical difficulties. These difficulties necessitated an immediate return to the airport. The crew initiated emergency procedures. Despite their efforts, the aircraft crashed. The Superjet 100 erupted into a fireball, sending shockwaves through the airport. Sheremetyevo International Airport, one of Russia's busiest, a hub of global travel and commerce. Thousands of passengers pass through its terminals each day, their lives intersecting in a ballet of arrivals and departures. But on this day, the familiar rhythm of the airport was shattered, replaced by the chaotic symphony of disaster. Air traffic controllers, their voices usually calm and measured, were now broadcasting urgent calls, their screens ablaze with the unfolding emergency. Emergency crews, always at the ready but hoping never to be needed, scrambled into action. Firefighters, paramedics, and rescue workers raced towards the inferno, their minds focused on a single desperate goal: to save as many lives as possible. But the fire, fueled by tons of jet fuel, raged with an intensity that defied easy containment. The smoke, black and acrid, billowed into the sky, a grim monument to the tragedy unfolding below. The crash site, a scene of unimaginable devastation, was a testament to the destructive power unleashed. Amidst the wreckage, the human toll was becoming horrifyingly clear. Lives lost, futures extinguished, families forever broken. In the immediate aftermath of any plane crash, the question that resonates loudest is, why? Why did this modern marvel of engineering, this testament to human ingenuity, plummet from the sky? In the case of the 𝐆𝐔𝐘𝐒 Superjet 100, the answer, like the wreckage itself, is complex and fragmented. Initial reports, often incomplete and sometimes contradictory, pointed to a possible electrical failure as the catalyst for the disaster. Imagine, if you will, the terror in the cockpit as critical systems began to fail, warning lights flashing, alarms blaring, the unnerving silence of a radio gone dead. This was not a gradual decline, a slow descent into chaos. This was a sudden and terrifying loss of control, a nightmare scenario for even the most seasoned pilot. The electrical system, the lifeblood of any modern aircraft, is responsible for everything from controlling the engines to powering the navigation and communication systems. With its failure, the Superjet 100 was transformed from a symbol of human achievement into a metal coffin hurtling towards the earth. Chapter 4: Casualties. In the cold, hard statistics of aviation accidents, the human cost is often reduced to a single chilling number. But behind that number, behind the headlines and the investigations, lie individual stories of love, loss, and unimaginable grief. For the passengers and crew aboard the 𝐆𝐔𝐘𝐒 Superjet 100, the flight that began with such routine quickly descended into a terrifying fight for survival. Survivors, their voices trembling with a mix of shock and gratitude, would later recount harrowing tales of the final moments before impact, the deafening roar of the engines giving way to the screech of metal against concrete, the sickening lurch as the plane slammed into the ground, the cabin plunged into darkness, the desperate scramble for exits as flames licked at their heels, the air thick with smoke and the stench of jet fuel. Some, their escape nothing short of miraculous, emerged from the inferno with their lives, but forever scarred by the experience. Others, their fates sealed in those final terrifying moments, were not so fortunate. Their stories, their dreams, their hopes for the future extinguished along with the flames that consumed the wreckage. Aircraft type Sukhoi Superjet 100, the Sukhoi Superjet 100, a symbol of Russia's ambition to reassert itself as a major player in the global aviation industry. A modern, sleek aircraft designed to compete with the best regional jets in the world. But even before the tragedy at Sheremetyevo Airport, the Superjet safety record had been marred by concerns and questions. Previous incidents, while not as catastrophic as this crash, had raised red flags about the aircraft's reliability. Reports of technical glitches, system failures, and emergency landings had cast a shadow over its reputation. Critics, their voices often drowned out by the pronouncements of success from the aircraft's manufacturer, pointed to potential design flaws, manufacturing shortcuts, and inadequate maintenance practices as contributing factors. The crash in Moscow, with its horrific loss of life, only served to amplify these concerns, pushing the Superjet 100 into the harsh glare of the international spotlight. Could this tragedy have been prevented? Was it a case of pilot error, a catastrophic mechanical failure, or a systemic failure in the aircraft's design or production? Pilot actions. In the aftermath of any plane crash, the actions of the pilots are scrutinized. Were they adequately trained? Did they follow proper procedures? Could they have done anything differently to avert disaster? In the case of the 𝐆𝐔 Superjet 100, the investigation is ongoing. They faced a terrifying and rapidly deteriorating situation. Imagine the weight of responsibility as they fought to maintain control. The deafening roar of the wind, the flashing warning lights, the sickening feeling as they wrestled with the controls. They were trained for emergencies, drilled on procedures for every scenario, but no training can fully prepare you for a catastrophic emergency. They issued a Mayday call, a desperate plea for help. They followed their emergency checklists, their voices calm and professional. They fought to the very end, their bravery and professionalism never in doubt. Rescue operations. As the flames engulfed the wreckage of the 𝐆𝐔 Superjet 100, a different kind of battle was being waged on the tarmac of Sheremetyevo Airport, a battle against time, against the odds, against the unforgiving grip of death itself. Emergency responders, their faces grim but resolute, raced towards the inferno, their every instinct screaming at them to turn back. Firefighters, their heavy gear suddenly feeling woefully inadequate, unleashed torrents of water and foam onto the blaze, the air thick with smoke and the hiss of steam. Paramedics, their eyes scanning the chaos for any sign of life, set up triage areas, their hearts pounding with the knowledge that every second counted. Rescue workers, their hands raw and blistered, clawed through the debris, their only reward the faint hope of pulling another survivor from the wreckage. But the fire, fueled by tons of jet fuel, burned with an intensity that defied easy containment. The heat was suffocating, the smoke blinding, the air thick with the acrid stench of burning metal and jet fuel. It was a scene of unimaginable chaos and devastation, a testament to the raw power of disaster. And yet, amidst the inferno, acts of extraordinary courage and compassion unfolded. Investigation launched. In the wake of any air disaster, the search for answers begins immediately. The mangled wreckage, a silent witness to tragedy, becomes the focus of an intense investigation. Every piece of debris, every scorched wire, every drop of fuel is scrutinized, analyzed, and cataloged. The black boxes, those indestructible repositories of flight data and cockpit recordings, are recovered, their contents meticulously examined for clues to the chain of events that led to the crash. Investigators, their faces etched with grim determination, converge on the crash site, their every move documented by a swarm of cameras. They come from all over the world, their expertise ranging from aircraft design and maintenance to air traffic control and meteorology. They work tirelessly, their sleep disrupted by nightmares and the sheer magnitude of the task before them, their minds haunted by the knowledge that their findings could prevent future tragedies. Their goal is simple, yet daunting: to determine what went wrong, why it went wrong, and how to prevent it from happening again. Was it a mechanical failure, a design flaw, human error, or a combination of factors? Outrow remembering the victims, seeking answers. The crash of the 𝐆𝐔 Superjet 100 serves as a stark reminder of the inherent risks associated with air travel. Despite the advancements in aviation technology and safety protocols, accidents like this underscore the fact that even the most routine flight can turn tragic in an instant. As the investigation continues, the families and loved ones of those lost in the crash are left grappling with unimaginable grief, searching for answers and seeking solace amidst their profound loss. The findings of the investigation will not bring back the lives lost that day, but they may hold the key to preventing similar tragedies from occurring in the future. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.